Let's give you a quick grid, and we've got a grid for this one, Jacob.
Yes, is it going to be this one? Or are we going to read it out?
We are reading it out old style.
Fantastic. Would you like to start? Or
Sorry. Sorry. I'm all calculating maths in my head.
I'll do odds, you do evens.
No, okay, right. So Kira Williamson, let's go through this. Kira Williamson, Joseph O'Neill are your first no row. Then it's Dan Pearson, Scott McGivern on row 2. Row 3 will be Bailey Harker and David de Groot. Paul Ward and Dennis Latham will be on row 4. Row 5 will be Tom White and Mark Prattley. Mark Hancock will start 11th. And then I think that may be all we have, because we've got several riders here who haven't set a time in qualifying. Peter Wadsworth, Ava Carter, Chris Edwards, Tom Salmon, Liam Greenland, Mick Lord, Matthew Putland and Simon Wadsworth all didn't register times in qualifying, and that tends to be a sign, Jacob, that we're not going to be seeing them out on track for the race.
I'm seeing 12 transponders show up on the timings, so we will have at least the 11 you mentioned, plus one other.
I'm going to say it's Chris Edwards who's your additional one of the 11 that we read out.
Well spotted.
Here we go then, ready for race number 2 of the day. Stock 160 is race 1. The B grid are away and we're racing. Good start from second on the grid, and that's allowing Kira Williamson has held on though, round the first couple of corners and up the hill, stretching out the gap to the rest of the field behind her.
Good start from David de Groot. He goes into third place through Christmas, does he? No, he doesn't quite make the move stick. He's up to 4th, though, from 6th.
Yeah, as they weave their way through the top of the hill for the first time. Williamson doing everything that she needs to do to get the jump on the field here. But top, second and third not battling with each other too much. These two are, though. It's David de Groot with, I think that's Bailey Harker battling with him there. As they come around the final part of the lap in dry. Down has gone the race leader. That's Kira Williamson at the side of the road. And there's also a bike down from further back. Race leader down then. And Joseph O'Neill comes back to the lead. I was having a look further down the field, but there our leader has gone down, and that's exactly what can happen in these kind of conditions.
Yeah, it's Paul Ward, the second rider down with it. Joseph O'Neill inherits the lead. Daniel Pearson, David Groot, Chris Edwards and Scott McGivern, your top 5.
Absolutely. We look further back. This is Scott McGivern and Bailey Harker battling. It's Chris Edwards who was battling with David de Groot on that first lap that we saw. As we cut back to Joseph O'Neill, currently leading this one, and now with a little bit of a breathing space there. There's Dan Pearson, and then comes David de Groot with Chris Edwards on his tail, and look at this, going for the wet line around the outside. That's going to put him out wide, and well, that's one way of getting past. I'm not quite sure how that one gets viewed in race control, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, because they were obviously the white line is what you look for, but most riders find themselves quite far out wide on that.
Different series treat that last corner slightly differently though here at Whilton Mill. We cut back to Bailey Harker, who has just got past Scott McGivern as well, whilst we were looking at the Edwards de Groot battle.
Yeah, they look to be cruising up to the back of de Groot as well. So let's keep an eye on this one for as long as we can. Through the Zulus, they're not usually much overtaking.
And this is the challenge, isn't it? In these conditions, where are the overtaking points? Where is the grip? As McGivern not letting Bailey Harker get away with this one. This is all over 4th place. Oh, de Groot's down! De Groot's down! In exactly the same place as we saw Kira Williamson, and it was Paul Ward, the other rider, who went down on the first lap. And that is how easy it is, folks. We've seen some great riding from David de Groot all year, so make no mistake, he's an accomplished rider, but he goes down
slippy
It-
around that boot.
It really is. Got to be careful around there. It's where they're trying to string the corners together to give them a good run onto the main straight usually. And I think the focus today just needs to be more on getting through it.
Absolutely.
As Dennis Latham, and this is a battle between Mark Hancock and Tom White up at Christmas.
Kira Williamson joining in there, recovering from her spell.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be a slight case of what might have been for Kira, as the race leader Current crosses the line. Joseph O'Neill setting good pace. His best so far is a 54.47, and that's the only time, or the only person who's been able to get below the 55-second mark in these conditions so far. You can see here Kira getting back past this. That is for position, isn't it? She's not down by that much time, so she's working her way back up the field, in fact, now to 8th place. So apologies, that was for position. Working her way back up, of course. She qualified at the front of this grid, so she has got the pace to work her way through the field. Indeed, here she is going past Dennis Latham as well. So on a charge here from the back is Williamson. Through the top of the circuit, there you go. Just look at how bad these conditions are. I've got a huge amount of respect for all these riders today.
Joseph O'Neill not coming up on the timing screen.
No, he's
Have a look
not.
at the window and he's not there.
He's
down
just crossing the
somewhere,
line now. So
He must have run wide. That's not enough for a
has
spin, is
he
it?
gone? I think. Well, no, he could have gone down and recovered very quickly there.
Potentially, but Daniel Pearson now
Dan
leads
Pearson.
this one.
Yes, indeed, absolutely.
We're following Mr. O'Neill still.
Yeah. So
Well,
unseen to the cameras, O'Neill has gone down somewhere, and now. Oh, and he's gone down again. Gone down again. This is the race that nobody wants to stay in the lead of here, although he had already lost that. But just for good measure, he has gone down again. Dan Pearson then on the number 77 in his yellow and black livery is now in the lead of this one. Here he is. Good pickup from the guys on the cameras. But he has Chris Edwards right with him. So all of a sudden we're being treated here to a battle for the lead in the last 4 laps of this one. Through the crook they go and up the hill. Pearson leading Edwards, 77 leading 23.
Bailey Harker about 12 seconds down the road. He's just come across the line. 4 laps remaining on this one.
I'd start fancying my chances if I was him, given the given the hit rate so far of the leaders. But Pearson has been riding well so far, kept it under control. Needs to be careful how he hits these curbs through the Zulus and onto the back straight. Heading into the boot section where we've seen so many go down so far this race. And it's on this apex here where people seem to be losing it. You can get mud and stuff coming off from the left-hand side, particularly if riders have been recovering their bikes, having themselves gone off. Chris Edwards goes quite wide out the last corner. And the gap stays fairly... It's within a second of each other, but it's 6/10 the gap at the moment.
Yes, he's not quite close enough to make a move happen on this lap. Let's see how he navigates through the Zulus. 3 laps remain, so he's got plenty of time. Just needs to get himself to the back of that bike in front, figure out where he's strong, and Dan Pearson might not necessarily be so hot.
Somewhat ironically, the fall for O'Neill has put him back down such that he's actually quite close to Kira Williamson, so they're having a bit of a rerun of the early phases of this race in a battle over 6th place here. He still has the fastest lap of the race, does O'Neill, so look for him getting back on the pace if he can just keep it on the island, as it were. 2 laps to go of this one. Dan Pearson leads by just some 0.4 of a second from Chris Edwards.
They're coming into some traffic, Howard.
There is some... there are some back markers to clear.
That was Latham, White and Hancock coming through a shot.
Yep.
They may well come into play. Oh, and off goes a rider at the exit of the boot.
I can't quite make out who that is.
I think it's Bailey Harker, Howard. It was.
It was. So from 3rd place. And look at this, the battle for the lead. Chris Edwards gets all over the back of Dan Pearson's bike, but he can't do anything with the opportunity in the Zulus. Yellow's out for another rider who's down in the boot. Someone else has gone down there. It's chaos out there at the moment. We've got a rider off every other lap at least. You can see there the bike down at the side, and the rider hasn't recovered themselves. Red flag. And I can't say I'm too surprised by that one. Clearly, the conditions are getting quite treacherous there, and I think we've got a rider who definitely is in need of some attention here at the last corner. Can't confirm who it was. Both Bailey Harker and Tom White have both dropped down the field on that last lap.
Yes, I think it's Bailey Harker on the exit of the boot, and Tom White was your man at the tip of the boot, as you were calling. Yep, we're calling that one finished.
Yeah.
That was the last lap board was due to come out.
Yeah, indeed. So understandable call there. It makes Dan Pearson your leader, your winner, excuse me. Chris Edwards finishes second. Scott McGiven gets third. Mark Prattley fourth. Joseph O'Neill fifth. Sixth for Kira Williamson in the end. David de Groot in seventh. Dennis Latham classifies eighth. Mark Hancock ninth. And then officially on timing at the moment it's Bailey Harker, Tom White and Paul Ward. But that might be a one for people to check up on post-posting of those official results. Don't forget you can get all of the results at results.alphatiming.co.uk and click on British Mini Bikes. Go to today's event round 10 at Whilton Mill, and that's where you can get all of the official results. Got a bit of a replay here. So here was lap one. Here was Kira Williamson going down, and then Paul Ward lost it as well. Then we had battling here. That was de Groot going down in front of Bailey Harker. The battling was actually extremely good. It has to be said. That was Mark Hancock, Dennis Latham, Tom White. They were having a good battle throughout the race. Kira Williamson was really on the pace bar for that fall on the first lap.
That's Joseph O'Neill going down for the second time. First time wasn't caught on camera, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was how
fortunately for him. But
yeah, indeed. That was how he lost the lead. And so that left Dan Pearson at the front of the field, who was able to fend off Chris Edwards for long enough. As
there's an umbrella there.
Is it getting heavier? I think
it's certainly as heavy as it has been all day, Howard, at the minute.
So all of the necessary attention being given to
Bailey Harker.
Yes, we do understand it's Bailey down there, don't we? Being recovered into the car.
Yeah, safety first, Howard, but it was a shame we didn't get to see that last lap.
Yeah,
Chris
I mean,
Edwards
it was a great
there.
race up until that point, but obviously it's a day when the right calls have to be made in terms of safety.
Hello and welcome to Funbikes TV. My name is MJ and today I'm going to introduce you to the M2R RF160 Supermoto. This is the Supermoto version of the RF160, which you can find out more information for by visiting funbikes.co.uk or by following the link below. Turn 1 is the main objective. Get there first and the race can be won. This is achieved with the high-performance, single-cylinder, 160cc oil-cooled YX engine, offering exhilarating performance early with thrillingly brilliant acceleration. Alloy handguards have been added to protect your hands in close racing and in the event of a crash. Also added for this exact reason are crash bobbins, which protect the track in the event you fall off the bike. It comes with adjustable front SP forks and a DNM rear shock to allow for a high level of flexibility, stability and traction. This Supermoto also features a quick action throttle, mag wheels and our huge factory spec twin pot front big brake system, meaning it's virtually track ready from the crate. The only thing we'd recommend as an add-on would be a set of neutral race tyres and a pair of tyre warmers, both of which can be purchased from funbikes.co.uk. Finally, a sump catch tank has been added, a must for championship racing as they stop any leaking fluids from your bike landing on the track and making it potentially dangerous for any rider. This has been a short review for the M2R KM160 Supermoto, which you can order now from funbikes.co.uk. Thank you very much for watching and let the fun begin.
But yes, 160 is now on track for their second race of the B grid. So this is the penultimate race of the year in the Pit Bike Stock 160s and the last race for these riders. Mr. Harris, would you like to give us a grid?
I'd love nothing more. Kira Williamson starts on pole position again. She's on the 114 bike on the right-hand side of your screen right now. Joseph O'Neill lines up to the left-hand side in position number 2. Daniel Pearson is 3rd, Scott McGivern 4th, Bailey Harker 5th, and David de Groot 6th. 7th is Paul Ward, Dennis Latham 8th. 9th for Tom White, Mark Prattley, Mark Hancock, and Peter Wadsworth are your entirety. There's only 10 riders out, so in fact, ignore the fact I said Peter Wadsworth and one other as yet unidentified rider.
Beautifully put, mate. Sorry for rushing you. Right, we're ready for this one. I just realised how quickly they were coming around. Kira Williamson on your right of shot. Joseph O'Neill on your left. And they're away. It's a great start from Joseph O'Neill. It's an even better start from, was that?
David de Groot?
Is it? Yeah, I think it was, you know.
I think
that
is
de Groot. That was an immense start from David de Groot. And Kira Williamson has taken up 2nd place behind. Oh, and de Groot's down! Do you know, I was about to say Kira Williamson and Joseph O'Neill have both crashed out from the lead of a race. Just before I could say it, de Groot is down. David de Groot
punches the tarmac in frustration.
I'm
Rightly
not
so.
surprised. So frustrating for him. That was an amazing start from de Groot. But I'm sorry to say it all amounted to naught in the end. And yes, Kira Williamson leads this one as they come around the boot for the first time. We're looking a little further back at Dan Pearson, who's been riding so well today. Scott McGivern as well. As they come around to finish this first lap, Kira Williamson leads. Joseph O'Neill is 2nd. Dan Pearson is in 3rd. Then it's Scott McGivern, Chris Edwards, Mark Prattley, Dennis Latham, Mark Hancock, Tom White. And now on the recovery ride, hey, if he can harness the speed that he had off the line, then don't count him out just yet. David de Groot is some 7 seconds off the back of the field.
Yeah, there's half a minute of absolutely going for it, and then a bit of an anticlimax. There's a wedding night joke in there somewhere, but for now, we return to the action.
Chris Edwards has got past Scott McGivern and is now pressuring Dan Pearson, and indeed he's going to try up the 2nd apex of the boot. That's not paid off for him, and that's going to leave him a bit vulnerable to McGivern. He takes a very wide line through that last corner in his challenge on Pearson, but it doesn't pay off. Up the hill they go again. He uses a lot of the curb there. Got to be careful, there's standing water out there. And it's left him vulnerable to Scott McGivern, who's going to try on the inside into Christmas. No, thinks better of it. And we've seen what happened to de Groot on the first lap. And Chris Edwards goes for a move on Dan Pearson and gets the job done. That was lovely, lovely judgment there into Inkermans there, and that gets Chris Edwards up to 3rd place.
Yeah, great move. We haven't seen many there today, but that was as good as any we have seen. Challenging now for 2nd place, Howard. Straight on it.
Yep, there's a man on the mission here, challenging Joseph O'Neill through the final part of the lap. There are your top 5 on screen. Kira Williamson, Joseph O'Neill, Chris Edwards now up to 3rd, Dan Pearson and Scott McGivern, and we both paused there because we thought that Chris Edwards was going for the move there on Joseph O'Neill. Top 3 closing right up here, and there goes Chris Edwards for the move into Christmas. He is on fire at the moment, is this man, working his way up through the top 5.
He certainly looks to be enjoying himself, Howard. He had a sneaky look going through the 2nd corner, which isn't where you really want to be doing it with the amount of water that's been down there this afternoon. But he's now challenging for the lead going into the boot.
Yeah, absolutely. Kira Williamson may be aware that there's a new challenger for the lead of this one. Do you know what I'm wondering? Dare I say it, with the number of offs we've seen, are the conditions just improving slightly and the bold are now getting the rewards?
Well, you could have, if you said that on the first lap, I'd have said absolutely.
No, exactly.
What are you talking about? And since we're only 4 laps in, I'm gonna
still say, what are you talking about?
I'm gonna pause before I agree with you.
That's fair enough. Chris Edwards has now dropped back a little bit in that first sector. The back of Kira Williamson. It's now a 5-bike battle A nice continuous string as Scott McGivern goes up the inside of Dan Pearson into Inkermans in exactly the same place that Chris Edwards got by him. And speaking of Chris Edwards, here we are at the front of the field. He may have dropped a little bit off Williamson in the first sector, but he's right with her now, as behind them McGivern's got straight onto the back of O'Neill.
Yeah, Edwards takes a different line out to the Zulus, as if he's going to line up and move going into the boot, but doesn't seem to have the acceleration to pull that off. I'm not quite sure if it's because of the line he's taking.
Wide line from McGivern as they head up the hill. Here's where Chris Edwards has been quite strong at certain points through the race. Meanwhile, it goes side by side for third place behind them, and McGivern goes through on Joseph O'Neill to change for third place and look for Chris Edwards up the inside. He's done this move once before, up the inside of Kira Williams, and that is Edwards to the front.
O'Neill having a look as well. He's very close to the Zulus. Wouldn't surprise me if he has a look through into the boot. Doesn't quite have the drive.
This is McGivern.
McGivern, sorry.
Yeah, McGivern's got past O'Neill into Crispus corner, and he's down. Scott McGivern goes down, and again, it looks almost, as I say, it's the slow speed when they're putting the traction down, and we're going to gloss over the fact that that's just proven me wrong.
Yep.
So, Chris Edwards to the lead of this one, Kira Williams second, and Joseph O'Neill gets back up to third place. But look at this, he's got Dan Pearson right with it. Pearson's now got the bit between his teeth and he's going for it. Up the inside at Christmas. It's like they're all taking turns to have a sudden sort of flourish out there.
Yeah, it's working better for some than others.
Yeah, this time it's Pearson who's got the tight inside line into Inkermans and gets the job done and puts himself up into third place.
Good riding from him. Chris Edwards may or may not be seeing the last lap board. Let's have a look at the window. It's not being prepared.
No,
so ignore what's in the top left-hand side of your screens. Oh no, sorry. He's had it hidden behind his back.
Give him time.
He's had it hidden behind his
A little
back.
bit of sleight of hand. There you go.
last.
So, Chris Edwards starts the last lap. My goodness, this one's gone quickly. There's been so much battling here. Apologies, we've not been able to show anything further back, as Scott McGivern thought he'd just go and inspect the wall a little bit there, just check it was all still intact. As he is battling with Mark Pratley, is why he's pushing hard. Here is Pratley inside at Christmas, not quite as the leader. Chris Edwards has just fired off into the distance. He's 3.5 seconds up the road now. Looks over his shoulder. Must wonder where everyone is. Well, the answer is that Dan Pearson is pressuring Kira Williamson for the second place spot here. We'll keep an eye on this man though. Chris Edwards has given a bit of a masterclass here in how to work your way through the field. Has managed to deal with the conditions superbly. Chris Edwards takes the win in race 2B of the Stock 160s. And it's going to be Kira Williamson who takes the second place. Dan Pearson in third. Joseph O'Neill fourth. There's Scott McGivern taking the fifth place with Mark Pratley in sixth. And after some 20 or so seconds, nearly 30 now actually, David de Groot, who led the race for
10 seconds,
I think that's, yeah. He finishes seventh. He's going to be very frustrated. In fairness, he did have, if there's any consolation, David, you did have perhaps the best start to a race I've seen. Certainly today, and possibly all year at this track. That was something else. Dennis Latham finishes 8th. Mark Hancock in 9th, and Tom White will be 10th. And that was your B grid race. Next will be race 2A in the Stock 160s. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Yeah, here's the group. First lap, third corner. Down he goes. Punches the floor. And here we see the battle is raged throughout the race. Kira Williamson, yeah, under pressure until
Scott McGivern
goes down. Nice overtaking manoeuvre for a hill here.
Yeah, Dan Pearson
inside
on Joseph O'Neill. And this was McGivern and Pratley.
I think he wanted a high five off that Marshall.
Maybe.
Wasn't looking